In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to set up Blender Octane step by step. And as a bonus, I'm also going to show you how you can have cycles and Blender all in the same file. So if you feel like working in cycles and you're just not too sure about Octane, you can just switch scenes. You can be in Octane, play with Octane for a little bit, switch scenes, and you're back in the cycles. It's not a big deal. The last 3 years, I've been struggling on learning how to learn Blender Octane. There's not a lot of resources out there. So I've been documenting my journey of learning Blender Octane so you do not have to go through this pain that I've had to go through in the last 3 years. So if this is something that you guys are interested, smash that subscribe button, sit back, relax, get everything downloaded, get everything up and running, and stay to the end of the video where I've got a bunch of free resources on how to continue to learn Blender Octane. I've got a massive Blender 101 guide that I'm giving away for free that's going to help you guys understand how to use Blender Octane. And even at the end, I got a couple of resources that'll hook you guys up with some free materials and things like that. So enough of my jibber jabber, let's get straight into the video. Jump over to the website and go to render, go to Octane render. Make sure you sign in. If you're new, make sure you sign in and make an account. It's all free. You have to do that, okay? From there, we're going to go to free trial. Then you're going to click on Octane Prime free tier, try now. Then here it is. You're going to go ahead and download the Octane Blender Edition, and you're going to download the Octane Prime. You always have to download these two, so select whatever your OS is going to be. All right, I've got those downloaded. So the first thing here I'm going to go ahead and do is just install the server, and you get this little warning here. Don't worry about that. Click more info, run anyways, and I'll go ahead and install the server. Now, for your first time, if you have not done this before, you might have to actually sign in with your credentials that you use to sign in at the website. So it might not ask me because I've already done it before. We'll find out. All right, that is complete. And now we're going to go ahead and install Blender. Same thing, go ahead and click more info, run anyways. And then we're going to go ahead and hit next. I agree. Same place. All right, boom, that is finished. And then we are good to go. Now, typically I would go ahead and restart the computer here and basically get everything reset and make sure it's up. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that really quickly. All right, so now let's go ahead and fire up Blender and get everything right. I'm gonna jump in here, and here it is, new version. But first thing I wanna do is turn on my server, Octane Server Prime, allow. And then if I click over here, you'll see it kind of pop up here. I'll double click on that. And this is just a little agreement. And I'll go ahead and say yes. I'm gonna go activate. And like I said, if this is your first time firing this up, you might have to sign in, but it doesn't ask me to sign in, okay? Now I'm gonna go ahead and turn on Blender, Octane Edition. So here's what we come to in our first menu here, import Blender preferences 4.2. Make your settings however you want. I like pretty much everything that's here. And I'm gonna actually say yes, import preferences, to see if it does. Oh, and boom, there it is. It did keep my original one that I had saved, which is really cool. Okay, so let me quickly jump in here. Shading, yep, everything is there pretty much. All of my settings, all of my add-ons, everything is still pretty much good to go. But this is where you'll need to build your file if you didn't. But coming in just to show you guys how it will be raw, let me just quickly go back to factory deset. All right, so if you didn't do the preferences, this is what you will come into your standard Blender setup scene here. And if we jump over here, you'll see we have Eevee, Workbench, Cycles, and then we have Octane there. I go ahead and fire up the render here, and this is what we see. We don't see anything. So this is where most people make the first mistake. So what I recommend doing is just literally, before you do anything, come over here to File, go to New, and right here, Octane Default Startup. Click that. Now it should basically set you up. If you just go ahead and hit the render, now you can see we do have Blender Octane ready and going. Down here is our environment setting. Right here, we're using the default world setting. Again, if you want to set up an HDRI, I would just literally just kill this, make a new one, texture environment, go Shift A, RGBA image, drag that into the texture, load in your HDRI, and there is my HDRI. It is loaded and inside of there. That's basically how you will load in an HDRI. And then also, after you've got your HDRI set up, just to note that you will be in direct kernel mode. You'll come over here to your kernels and you'll switch this to path tracing. Now you're using the path tracer here. And another thing quickly that I like to do, if for those of you who still like using cycles, what I do is make it multiple scenes. So quickly here, I'll come up here to where it says scenes, and I'll go make a new one. And then what I'll do in this scene here is I will set everything back to cycles. Like here is, we got EV, and I'll go ahead and set up cycles. And then what I'll even do is, for me, what I'll do is I'll literally set up the exact same HDRI I have over here. So I will come over here and what is it? Image texture, image texture, drop that in here, and then go ahead and load in the same HDRI and position the HDRI so they're exactly the same. It's hard, you can't, the number values are not the same when you add, your texture mapping node to this. But what I do is just eyeball it by picture, like just get it in the same general area. And once I have that, I'll save that as my main file so I can swap between the two. Let me quickly show what I mean. So here back in my original setup file, which I'll have available on the Gumroad, what I do here is right now I can click in and I'm using Octane right here. And then if I don't want to use Octane, I want to use cycles, all I do is go to my scene, switch over here, cycles scene. Now if I fire up the render here, I'm basically back in Blender cycles version. No big deal. Boom, now I'm back in cycles. And it just helps me when I'm doing, multiple, or if I'm using Blender Kit and I just don't want to convert materials that day or just want to use cycles, I can easily just flip over and I got scenes already. But it also helps me when I'm converting materials from cycles to Octane to basically be in the cycle scene, see what it looks like, and then be able to jump out of here, go back to Octane, and then, match or kind of match the materials up to go. And you can see how much faster the viewport is in Octane. I mean, look at that, guys. That's so super snappy compared to cycles. There's my there's my cycles. But anyways, and you're pretty much good to go from here on out. The rest, again, I have in my Blender 101 guide lots of information to walk you through the whole process of understanding a lot more things that are about Blender Octane. If you come here to my YouTube channel, you'll see here I have this whole guide walking you through what I just walked you through, setting everything up to color management, and it's an ongoing process of videos that will walk you through pretty much most of everything you need to know to get started with Blender Octane. And if you were looking for a little bit more, we have the Blender Octane community, school community here, and inside here I do have a lot more stuff. We have the complete 101 guide is here. I've been releasing little bits and pieces of it to YouTube, but in here we have the complete guide, which I walk through everything from render settings, all kinds of stuff, troubleshooting, OSLs, camera imagery, texture print, or texture paint, all kinds of stuff, right? We've got that. Then we've got community challenges, an ongoing community of just people who are just all about Blender Octane. Also, if you look inside of here, we do have a database of other users who are Blender YouTubers. I got pretty much most of all the Blender Octane users who do YouTube videos pretty much in here to kind of help you guys isolate having to search around for that. And then we have assets that we've made, and then we even have our own material library that we've also used. Also, you can jump over to the Gumroad where I have a whole bunch of free assets, free materials. And one thing that's pretty much a lot of people come here for is my free startup file, which will help you to give you your Blender Octane render settings in a good general area where you don't have to wait a very long time, because the out-of-the-box settings do have a lot of settings that need to be changed to get to maximize your render times. And I've kind of gotten a little bit of that because, again, it's based on your scene. But if you come in here, you can download this Blender startup file. I'm going to update it here shortly, and that will kind of help you get in the ballpark of trying to get some dialed in render settings that won't take a very long time. And also, if you guys are looking for Blender Octane materials, you guys can see here I have a whole bunch of Blender Octane materials. There is a group called Pixel Labs. The folks down at Pixel Lab are making some really cool Blender Octane materials. They currently have, I think we're on pack number 9, where they just released it a couple of days ago. They do also offer a free pack. If you come in here to freebies, you can download 12 of theirs to check them out right here. Blender Octane Material Sampler Pack. Take a look at that. I'll have the link down below. And if you guys need anything else, check this next video to get into the Blender 101 guide.